I officially announced my divorce on my Facebook.
It just means you've learned from your mistakes. It means that you understand who you are.
Loneliness is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
If you're dating and you're going through this like period where you feel like you're kind of just like being a serial dater, right? Like you're just flipping through, swipe, 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 going on dates.
After you're divorced, you are going to date like you're a 20-year-old again.
Don't settle. There's always opportunities to settle, and that's probably what got you into the shitty situation in the first place, which is why you're in your late 30s, 40s, whatever, and dating again.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. Without further ado, let's just jump right into today's video clips. And all of these women are dating after divorce, guys. So don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments, and let's just jump right into the videos.
I was trying to kind of settle down because I'm a little bit anxious as I was lying in bed. And I was reading my Instagram messages, and I saw a message from a woman who is a little bit older than me. I think she's in her like late 40s, who used to be a friend of my sister's and was in our ward in Utah. Your neighborhoods are called wards. It's a Mormon church thing. Anyway, our kids went to the same school and whatever. And like we've talked in passing, but I didn't even know that she anyway, she wrote me a message because I officially announced my divorce on my Facebook a couple weeks ago. And she wrote me a message tonight telling me that she knows like how lonely of a time it is, and that we actually have a lot more in common than I know, and that if I ever wanted to go get coffee or drinks or something with her. And it meant so much because it is a lonely time. And just like that one small gesture just gave me just gave me like a little other glimmer of hope that things are gonna be okay. So,
You know, guys, my question with videos like this all the time is, okay, why did you get divorced then? You know, like if you're in a relationship, you're in one of these marriages that goes for such a long time. I don't know how long this woman's marriage was for, but my question is always, okay, why did you get divorced then? Right? There was a time, guys, where you would get married and marriage would mean till death do us part. It would be something that was permanent, it would be lifelong, and you two would be together. But nowadays, guys, it seems like every single marriage doesn't last. It never lasts at all. Divorces have gone through the roof ever since no-fault divorce, okay? Now, I'm not saying that this woman, maybe she was in a terrible situation, okay? And her husband, like, did awful crap to her. I don't know her particular situation. But what I do know, guys, is you have a whole bunch of women leaving marriages, divorcing their husbands, being rewarded for doing so, and that's just the state that we're in right now. So why exactly did the divorce occur? Like, these people feel very comfortable jumping on TikTok saying that their marriage ended and that they feel really crap in front of like a whole bunch of strangers, but they never actually explain why. And the only times they do explain why is when the dude is bad, right? Otherwise it's just like, well, the relationship ended, I'm crying, and I want sympathy for strangers. Now, I don't know this woman's situation, okay? Maybe the dude was awful, maybe he wasn't, but statistically speaking, guys, the women are the ones dipping out of their their long-term relationships and marriages.
Check on your friends. Check on the people in your life that you know are struggling. Because loneliness is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And that's part of the reason I stayed so long, is because I knew that I would be going back to loneliness.
One of the interesting things as well about the word loneliness here, and this is something that I brought up in a recent episode, okay, is women will oftentimes use this word and they don't actually understand what the word means, okay? So you have a woman here who's gone through a divorce. She's, you know, the relationship is ending, whatever. She's been invited out for coffee to talk about her feelings, and she's sitting here saying that she feels lonely, which, you know, she's not going to be with her partner anymore. But I don't think a lot of these women truly understand what it means to be lonely, because most men, when they leave things like a relationship or a marriage, they don't have people there asking them to support them and to even have a coffee. Like, loneliness is something that you might as well just make a different definition for men and for women, right? You might be lonely in a romantic sense, but a girl is never truly going to be permanently lonely in that sense. Like, a girl is always going to have some dude who's going to want a relationship with her, but they don't know the true sense of the word loneliness. Men really do understand this. Men, like, for the most part, people don't give a crap about a dude. If he gets out of a divorce, okay, or if he's a dude going through a rough time, odds are nobody gives a crap. You know, you gotta keep it pushing. So it's really interesting when people use words like this. They say that they're lonely, that things really suck for them, but in the same breath, they'll say things like, well, I got invited for coffee to talk about my feelings. This is actually quite a rarity for dudes, to be honest with you, in comparison.
Stayed so long is because I knew that I would be going back to loneliness. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, sleep well, everyone.
And before we continue to the next video, guys, this is something that's just crazy about the internet to me, is people will go through divorces. They will go through terrible situations. It's typically women that do this, by the way. And then they jump on TikTok and they talk about it to complete strangers. And that's something I never really understood at all. It's like, if you have a problem in your personal life, if you're talking about something serious, and I do think it's serious, the end of a marriage or something like that, and your instinct is to jump on TikTok and to talk to strangers about your problems, that really communicates something off to me, guys, because I don't think that this is something that strangers should know about, right? Like, why do strangers have your permission to talk about and to understand your personal life? It's absolutely beyond me. And the conclusion that you have to draw is realistically just because it's for sympathy, right? It's for people to ask how you're doing, and it's because you can't deal with these things by yourself. You need validation from people online, which is a really sad thing. Let's continue into the next video clip here. Oh, this is going to be a banger, you can already tell.
It's okay to know what you want and choose to never deviate from that. It's okay to tell him or her no. It's okay to have a list of things that you will absolutely never accept in a person. It's okay to be single for a long time. It's okay to have your expectations set right from the door. It's okay to say, if this person does this, lives this way, acts or behaves a certain way, they can't have me.
It's always really funny to me how these divorced women, or these women who have been through terrible relationships, they will only start to develop these lists after they've had their fun, or they've gone through a bunch of dudes in the first place, right? So I'm going to pull this up. You guys can't see this, but hopefully you can see. Okay, we've got down here in red, there's "it's okay to be picky," right? And of course we have the arm tattoo over here on the left as well. Divorced individual talking about the ability to be picky, 30 plus years of age, with arm tattoos. Very, very interesting predicament to be in.
They can't have me. It doesn't make you stuck up. It doesn't make you overbearing. It doesn't make you unrealistic. It just means you've learned from your mistakes. It means that you understand who you are and you understand what you need. It means that you are at a point in your life where you're not going to accept any relationship unless you know you're going to be given a good chance of success.
Yeah, this is all well and good. You can have your lists, you can create your demands, you can say, I'm not going to date a guy unless he takes care of me financially and he has to be 6 foot plus and whatever. Hey, knock yourself out, madam. You can make all the lists you like. But here's the thing, right? You've got to understand that people can choose to ignore your lists, okay? You can make a list of all the things that you require from a man, but the problem you're going to run into, especially as a divorced individual, a woman who's 30 plus years of age, is that men actually don't have to give these things to you. And typically speaking, the men that will give these things to you, you're not going to respect anyway. Guys, the amount of times that I have seen people, like this woman right here, they'll be single mothers or they'll be divorced or like 40 plus years of age, and they create these big long lists. It's like, okay, that's fantastic for you. But what does the other person, like what incentive do they have? Like you've got a couple of kids in tow, okay, you're masculine, you're annoying to be around, you're demanding, you come with a whole bunch of baggage, and you're sitting here talking about the things that you require from men. My brother, you are the one that needs a bit of a reality check here. Okay, and you know, you can have your standards, but typically speaking, in a lot of these situations, the standards that these women have are incredibly unrealistic. But let's run it back a bit here. And look at this. Look at this. They always talk about this point in their life, right? Have you guys noticed this? I'm at a point in my life where I need something more serious, okay? Really? Why didn't you have your more serious thing beforehand? Why didn't you make that work? Why didn't you stick with your husband? Why did you break your vows? These are questions that we're just going to gloss over, but let's run it back a bit here. Let's say, because she says a bunch of crap here. Let's take a listen to this.
Lives this way, acts or behaves a certain way, they can't have me. It doesn't make you stuck up. It doesn't make you overbearing. It doesn't make you unrealistic.
Well, it kind of does, because it depends what your standards are. And, you know, the older that you get and the more baggage you accumulate and the more divorces that you have under your belt, the more tattoos that you have on your arm, the more annoying that you are, the more TikTok accounts that you create. It's very easy. As soon as you start writing that list, it's very easy for you to be unrealistic. And let's be honest, guys, a lot of these women are straight up unrealistic. Excuse me if you could hear that notification there. Let's keep going.
It just means you've learned from your mistakes. It means that you understand who you are and you understand what you need.
Here's the thing. Men don't want a girl, for the most part, right? The dudes who have self-respect. I'm talking to the men who have self-respect here. Men who have self-respect don't want to date a woman or to take a woman seriously who has made a whole bunch of mistakes. What do I mean by mistakes? Gone through a whole bunch of bad boys, had kids out of wedlock, can't lock down a dude in the first place, like has been married and divorced. These are things which you accumulate these things, and men are not interested. Like, if you want to come here and say, I'm 30 now, I've gone through a whole bunch of dudes, I've made mistakes with all the motorbike riding bad boys with tattoos and the gym junkies, okay, and now I'm ready for a good man. It's like, wait a minute. You say that these were mistakes, but let's pull the crap. Let's cut the crap here for a second, okay? These are things that you chose to do. At the end of the day, they are decisions that you made.
It means that you are at a point in your life where you're not going to accept any relationship unless you know you're going to be given a good chance of success.
I love these phrases, by the way, guys, because let me just say this. These girls who say that they don't accept things unless it's going to take a serious turn, right? Like, oh, I'm not going to accept a relationship unless I have like this, and this. If a man is attractive enough to the woman, she will get with the dude without requiring a relationship. You know, like it amazes me. Like, oh, like the amount of women who say I don't do friends with benefits. That's disgusting. Or I'm a girl that needs to be taken seriously. And yet they have applications like Snapchat, and they're talking to, like, you know, and that one guy, that one attractive dude. Oh yeah, she'll go straight over to his house. She'll go meet up with him because she wants just that chance of having a relationship with him. She wants to have that fun, right? He's an attractive guy. He's exactly her type. And she'll take that 3% chance at a relationship. Who are we kidding? It's lower. But she'll take that, right? But we're supposed to believe that we're all sanctimonious over here and we're only going for relationships. Like, bro, get out of here. Get out of here.
And joy and peace. No relationships are perfect. I don't believe we're expecting perfect. I don't believe we want perfect. We're not perfect. But what we are is smart, because life made us that way.
This woman has watched far too many Disney movies. And as a fan of Disney movies back in the day, at least, I don't know what the hell they're doing today, guys. Like, holy hell. This entire last part here, this entire last 15 seconds, you can tell that this individual does not have a lot of thoughts in her head that are her own. Like, listen to how, like, this is just like lines from a script, guys. Like, take a listen to this garbage right here.
As you know, you're going to be given a good chance of success and joy and peace. No relationships are
right
perfect.
Here.
I don't believe we're expecting perfect. I don't believe we want perfect. We're not perfect. But what we are is smart, because life made us that way. We are...
See what I mean, guys? It's just like, what on earth is going on here?
Fully understanding of who we are and what we need, because our experience has created that. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to hold on to that. And if you're like me, and you hear that too, especially from people who get turned down, ignore it and listen to me instead. It's okay to demand what you need and not settle.
Never settle, queen. You are... Hey guys, I'm on the women's side here, right? I'm a vampire womanist over here, boys. You go, queen. Never settle. You are so strong. You are so independent. You've got this. You don't need no man. And carry right on. And we'll see how that goes for you.
It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a wise person.
Oh, hell yeah.
So here's the thing. When you are dating in your 30s, your 40s, whatever, somebody that is a grown-ass mature adult, things are just kind of different than when you were in your early 20s. And that's okay.
Why are we throwing around the word grown adult when we are recording ourselves on TikTok talking about dating in her 40s or 50s? And guys, I have to mention this, okay? I don't bring this up to insult people's appearances. Like, I truly don't. But the certain things are red flags, okay? Women who have things like chest tattoos, arm tattoos, who yell at the camera, who cry for strangers on the internet. These are red flags. And one of them as well is just brightly colored, long-ass nails, okay? And we're sitting here, and we've brought up the concept of being a grown adult, but we have bright green, long nails, and we are post-divorce, by the way. So let's not forget that. All of these women have been divorced. So let's just bear that in mind and keep going here.
Thing. When you are dating in your 30s, your 40s, whatever, somebody that is a grown-ass mature adult, things are just kind of different than when you were in your early 20s. And that's okay. We've grown and we've had experiences, and you know what you want and you know what you don't want. And so if you're dating and you're going through this like period where you feel like you're kind of just like being a serial dater, right? Like, you're just flipping through, swipe, going on dates, thinking you like somebody, and then you're like, no, and you lose that interest like super quick.
It is amazing. Like, let's think about this for a second. It is amazing how, and I bring this up often, But this is a girl who, I'm just going to say it, she's not the most attractive individual that I've ever seen in my life, guys. You know, just being real honest here. This is not someone who is very attractive, okay? And yet, this is a girl who can go on, in her own words, okay? This is not me saying this. In her own words, she can go on date after date after date. She's a serial dater, and she is given opportunities by men. Like, let that process for a second, guys. I don't find this woman to be attractive, and yet the amount of opportunities that are still presented to her is absolutely insane. And despite the fact that we are being presented with date after date, and you can continue to see men, you still can't find your man, right? You still can't find your Prince Charming. Because if you flip the script here, guys, number one, most men can't secure date after date after date. This is not happening for most men, despite the fact that these girls might think otherwise, okay? Dudes are not even the dudes who are really quite attractive, right? You know, this woman rivals them. Hell, probably even beats the majority of the attractive dudes in the amount of power that she has in dating. And yet she still can't find a man. I swear to you guys, you can give a man like 6 options and he'll find a way to like them. You know what I'm saying? But you can give these girls thousands of options, literally hundreds of dates, and yet they will still wind up single. Either A, because the dude's like, hell no, or he just wants to have fun, or B, because like this woman says right here, she's the one getting bored. She's the one losing interest. This is a girl who has been divorced as well, by the way, guys. And she has the audacity to be the one that loses interest. That is craziness.
And then you're like, no, and you lose that interest like super quick. That's okay. That's because you know what you want and what you don't want. And that's like the whole point of dating. Don't settle. There's always opportunities to settle, and that's probably what got you into the shitty situation in the first place, which is why you're in your late 30s, 40s, whatever, and dating again, because you probably settled the first time and overlooked a lot of shit that you thought that you would be okay with, and now you know better. So you're not being a picky bitch. You just have standards.
Let's talk about dating after divorce. So let's just say you are 40 years old. You got married when you were 22. You met your partner when you were 20. After you've divorced, you are going to date like you're that 20-year-old again.
Hold on. I apologize for this, guys. A lot of you guys are going to hate me for this, but I have to run it back. I just wasn't listening, I'll be honest.
So let's just say you are 40 years old. You got married when you were 22. You met your
very unlikely
partner when you were 20. After you've divorced, you are going to date like you're that 20-year-old again, because that's the last experience you had with dating. You aren't going to date with the knowledge you've gained as a 40-year-old. Your patterns, the type of people you choose, are all going to be what you would have chosen when you were 20. And that's what happens to a lot of people when they get divorced. They aren't dating the version of themselves now. The only experience they have is the 20-year-old that was single. So it's important that you take some time to reestablish, who am I now? I'm not that person who was single when I was 20. I'm a different person.
Yeah, you don't have as much power anymore. This is what happens, right? If you have a girl who... And what this woman is talking about, by the way, is a rarity. Okay, most of these girls, what happens is they get married when they go into their 30s because they realize that they're running out of time. Most of these women are not getting married at 22, having known their partner since they were 20. Statistically speaking, this is not what's happening. Marriages are moving later and later, and the divorce rate is increasing just astronomically, okay? Good thing too, because men get screwed over, so I'm not really complaining about that. What this woman is talking about right here is a rarity, but it does happen. And the reason why things are different right now is because you have lost a lot of your leverage. Back when you were 20, you could say, I want this. You could get that doctor, you could get that lawyer, okay, you could get the attractive guys. Maybe you can't get them to commit to you, but you can have at least a little bit of a shot, right? You know, with the Chads, not really for a relationship, but you can have a running chance at getting some high quality dudes, right? But now that we're 40, we run into some issues like men not wanting to deal with us, like having baggage, having kids, being divorced. You don't have that leverage anymore. And men, you know, not all of them, but a lot of them have built themselves up, okay? And then the dudes who have built themselves up, the men who you're interested in, a lot of these guys are not interested in dating you. I actually saw a really interesting comment earlier today, well, not earlier today, a little while ago, guys, where I saw a guy talk about the fact that, you know how you see these women make these videos about how it's creepy for older men to date younger women because the younger women are so easily manipulated, right? We have to pull the victim card. Oh, these girls are so easily manipulated. That's why men don't want the older women. And this commenter left a thing and he's like, actually, the older women are so much more easier to manipulate. You just promise them a relationship and they're sold. Because a lot of these women, they just get more and more desperate. And I can see that, guys, right? A lot of these girls, they're so desperate for a relationship. They want to be in something because, you know, that clock is like well done over. And we need something serious, right? Because it's really embarrassing for a girl to be 40 years of age and not have a man. It is straight up an embarrassment.
I have different ideals. The things I want from a partner are very different to what I would have wanted when I was 20. Maybe when you were 20, you were looking for someone that you could have kids with. Maybe now that you're 40, you're not interested in that anymore. The kids are older. You don't want those kind of things.
Let's cut the crap. When you were 20 years of age, you wanted to go around and have fun with the attractive dudes. Now that you're 40, you haven't got as many chips left in the casinos, so to speak. You can't afford to do that. So now we need something more serious. Let's cut the crap. That's what this is about. You don't have leverage anymore. You need to be more realistic about your options, which, you know, realistic. A lot of these people are very allergic to the word realistic, but carry on.
Maybe you're looking for someone who's more intellectual. It's not the same as when you were 20 years old. You have to give yourself time to understand who you are now before you start dating. This is really, really important.
Hell yeah, right on, brother. Never settle, queen. You got this. And we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure to take care of yourselves. And I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.